Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here for your NXT Takeover Philadelphia preview and predictions. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking everything regarding NXT Takeover Philadelphia, each and every single match on this card. Like always, when speaking about a takeover show, I am excited. The things they have done to build towards this takeover have been great. NXT really is in that position where maybe it's not the best it's ever been, when you had the Sashas and the Baileys and the Charlottes and the Zanes and the Owens and the Nevilles down there. Maybe it's not in the best position that it's ever been, but it's damn sure in a good position. NXT is doing very well for itself and telling some genius storyline. My God, would you be mistaken if you thought that the storyline that NXT has going with Johnny Gargano is not amazing, because they are doing some fantastic storytelling right there. Storytelling that you're only going to see on NXT. You're damn sure not going to see that on the main roster. And of course, every time we go into these takeover shows, it's like nothing else you will see in the wrestling world. The crowd is electric. You're at the edge of your seat for 2 hours, ready to see some great wrestling. And that's exactly what we are going to get here at NXT Takeover Philadelphia just tomorrow on Saturday. I'm excited. It's, like always, probably going to be better than the show that comes after. Actually, I'm sure now that NXT Takeover Philadelphia is going to be better than the Royal Rumble. And usually, all NXT takeovers are better than the main roster pay-per-view that follows it. And that's amazing, because the main roster pay-per-view that usually follows a takeover is a Big Four. And it really goes to show you the quality of the Big Four pay-per-views as of late in WWE. But I mean, NXT TakeOver is something that is hard to follow, hard to compete with, because when you go to NXT TakeOver, you're going to get some of the best wrestling, some of the best storytelling, and some of the best crowds that you will see in the entire wrestling world. And I mean, you cannot help but be excited for that, because I know I am. NXT has been great, and I expect this takeover to be great as well. I mean, NXT TakeOver War Games, which was the last one, damn sure did not disappoint. It gave us 2 Match of the Year candidates for 2017 with the War Games match itself, and as well as the Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black. And I mean, look at the card for this show. You've got Aleister Black versus Adam Cole in a street fight. That is something that I'm excited for. Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas last year at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn put on a Match of the Year candidate as well. Here tonight, they're in the main event, or at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, they're in the main event. The only matchup I really have a problem with is the women's matchup, Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon. I really don't think that was the correct way to go about that, and we will discuss that in further detail when we do talk about that matchup. But I mean, I am pretty much down for everything that we are seeing on this pay-per-view. I will discuss that in further detail as we do go into all the matches. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, before we do get into all of that, I just want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out everything else on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. That is because there is so much other content for you to go check out. Just yesterday, on Thursday, we uploaded your Royal Rumble 2018 preview and predictions. So, of course, if you missed that, make sure to go check out your Royal Rumble preview and predictions. We talk about it all. The Royal Rumble match itself, the men's, the women's, in very much detail. We talk about the build to those matches, the quality of Raw and Smackdown, what I think or who I think is going to win the match, what that means going into the future. We're talking about all that on the preview and predictions. It ain't just predictions. It is damn sure a preview as well. So make sure to go check that out, especially if you have not been up to date with main roster television. That is another reason to check out this NXT Takeover preview predictions, because we're going to be previewing and talking about what led to all these matches. So if you did miss NXT television, you're caught up right here on the preview and predictions, as well as to make sure to go check out your Raw and Smackdown reviews, I want to tell you, because Smackdown this week was the go-home show to the Royal Rumble, and Raw clearly was Raw 25. So, of course, if you missed any of those videos, if you missed Raw, if you missed SmackDown, make sure to go check that out. Or if you want an educated opinion on Raw or SmackDown, or if you want both, make sure to go check out that, or those videos, I should say, as well as Behind the Mic, episode number 53. We're talking huge news on there, as well as to await the content coming, because this is a big week of content, as you can clearly tell on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. We have NXT Takeover Philadelphia and the Royal Rumble this week. So Behind the Mic, you can be awaiting episode number 54, which is sure to be a big episode of Behind the Mic. We're going to go over in detail the Enzo Amore story, as well as the news in detail of Vince McMahon restarting the XFL in 2020. Huge news drop, as well as so much other huge news in the wrestling world. Behind the Mic, where we cover all the biggest news in the WWE. So make sure to await that tomorrow, as well as in the nighttime, your NXT TakeOver Philadelphia review, and of course the main event on Sunday after that show goes off the air. Hopefully not after 11 o'clock, because I'm going to be burnt out if that's the case. But of course you have your Royal Rumble review. So make sure to go to hit that subscribe button to get all that content straight into your subscription boxes. You can of course click on that notification bell, and you'll get notifications straight to your mobile device, which me, being the owner of this YouTube channel, highly recommends. So make sure to do all that, because for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going straight into the NXT TakeOver Philadelphia preview and predictions. And like I said before, the quality of NXT has been fantastic. Certainly much better than whatever we're getting on the main roster, that's for sure. But I mean, as far as the card for this pay-per-view goes, it's looking stacked. You got Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler. I believe you have Killian Dane against Lars Sullivan. I'm not sure if that's going to be on the show or not. I got to check the cards. But of course you have Aleister Black and Adam Cole in a street fight, which I do believe, I'm hearing, is going to be a number one contendership match. So the person who wins this match is the next number one contender for the NXT Championship. I like that idea. You got the Authors of Pain going against Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. It's looking good. It is looking good. And of course you got Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship. How can you go wrong with that? It is going to be a damn good show. I am excited. And we're going to start off here by talking about Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler, because what I want to talk about in this matchup is how I don't even think this is the right matchup you could have gone with for this show. If you ask me, the matchup you should have gone with was Ember Moon versus a Nikki Cross. Maybe if you want to go a little crazy with it, go Ember Moon versus an upstart like Bianca Belair. I feel like that would have made for a much better matchup. Yeah, more predictable, because you know Ember Moon's going to retain, but it would have made for a much more logical affair as well, because Ember Moon, I feel at least, it's too soon. She just won it at the last TakeOver. It's too soon for her to lose her NXT Championship. And as mentioned before, Shayna Baszler just debuted 3 weeks ago. I'm not even sure if I mentioned that before, but she just debuted 3 weeks ago. She did. It's only been 3 weeks. Yeah, she's done some good stuff in those 3 weeks. She cut an interesting promo, or she had an interesting backstage affair with Ember Moon at the go-home show for this takeover, and she's been doing some good work. But I don't understand where that justifies her, after only 3 weeks, for an NXT Women's Championship matchup. I don't get that. I don't get that. And the story that you were seemingly trying to tell when she debuted, and Regal told her on NXT that she wasn't going to get an NXT championship by assaulting women, and that story that you were trying to tell right there, it was just really thrown out the window, if you ask me, and that bothered me, because that story was thrown out the window, that you're not going to get an NXT Women's Championship shot by nefarious means, pretty much. That was thrown out the window, and Ember Moon just said, yeah, you want my title? You got a shot at my title. You're pissing me off. That's pretty much what happened there, when you had this other storyline, which could have built up to Shayna Baszler getting an NXT Women's Championship shot, and I wouldn't even say that you'd have that at a takeover, maybe on an NXT main event, and maybe she'd win it. I'm not sure. But I feel it's too soon to take the title off of Moon, and it's too soon to defeat Baszler. Why would you have her debut 3 weeks and bam, she's defeated? I don't get that. Unless this match is going to end through some type of DQ, I don't know, some crazy finish, I don't know. I do not know. But I know I still want Ember Moon as champion. I still want to see Ember Moon go into the next takeover against Kairi Sane. But it seems like what they're going to do for the WrestleMania New Orleans takeover is that they're going to have Shayna Baszler win the title here, and you'll relive the Mae Young Classic main event at NXT TakeOver New Orleans with Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane, but instead of the final of the Mae Young Classic, it's now for the NXT Women's Championship, which is certainly an idea, and I'm not doubting that it's an interesting one, but I know I like the idea much better of seeing Kairi Sane and Ember Moon go at it at a takeover, and that will be the official coronation of Kairi Sane as your NXT Women's Champion going forward. And that's what I would like to see. Yeah, Shayna Baszler is kind of booted out of that equation, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, realistically, that's what the cards play. It's just Shayna Baszler who's shit out of luck right there. That's my issue with that. So I don't know which way they're going to go. It's certainly unpredictable. They can certainly have Shayna Baszler win the title and take it into TakeOver to relive the main event of the Mae Young Classic, or they can have Ember Moon keep the strap and take it into the next TakeOver against Kairi Sane. I'm sure it's going to be against Kairi Sane. I'm just not sure who's going to be holding the title when we get there. What I would do is have Ember Moon retain. You build Sane versus Ember Moon at the next TakeOver, and maybe if you want, you can have Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane go at it, if I can speak here, at a NXT main event. I'm not sure. It's tricky business, because you don't want to defeat Kairi Sane, you don't want to take the strap off Moon, and since she's champion, champions don't get pinned in NXT, they just don't. And then on top of that, you got Shayna Baszler, who you don't want to pin because it's too soon. So you got 3 people who cannot be pinned, or you do not want to be pinned, who need to be in an equation against or with each other. I don't know how to book this. I really don't. And I don't know which way NXT is going to go about it. But if I had to predict which way they're going to go about it, they put Baszler in the title match. I don't think Baszler's going to lose that title match. I unfortunately think Ember Moon is going to have a short title reign. And that is saddening, because Ember Moon, I've been waiting to see her as champ for a while now. So I don't know which way they're going to go about it. I personally would have put Nikki Cross in this situation, and maybe even if you want to go into a women's triple threat with Baszler and Sane at the next TakeOver, you could have done that. But there was no need to put Nikki Cross, or no need to put Shayna Baszler in this situation when you could have easily put Nikki Cross there to take the loss and put on a damn good match, as I'm sure they would, with Ember Moon. So that's my opinions on that. We move on here to the next matchup, and that is Cassius Ohno versus the Velveteen Dream. So this is an interesting match, to say the least, as sirens go off outside. Seemingly every video this is, my lord. Anyways, Cassius Ohno versus Velveteen Dream. This is an interesting match. Velveteen Dream clearly has been putting on some fantastic work. Just the matchup he had on the Go Home show to this very pay-per-view with Johnny Gargano. Fantastic matchup. No doubt about it. There's no words that need to be spoken for the matchup that he had with Aleister Black at the last takeover. My lord. Match of the year candidate, probably top 3 match right there in Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black. Now this matchup against Cassius Ohno really has no build, and I just think this is a way to get some momentum back on the Velveteen Dream, because he is doing some fantastic work, and he's taken 2 major losses against Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano. Not necessarily losses that hurt his stock, because those are big matches that he was doing big things in, but Cassius Ohno really is that middleman in NXT who's really never in that position that you want to give him your NXT title, but he's very viable. He has a lot of stock, and you can always give somebody the win against Cassius Ohno. He's kind of like Ty Dillinger, but the only part of Cassius Ohno that's missing there is the gimmick. Cassius Ohno isn't really over. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, the crowd likes him, but he's not over. He's amazing in the ring. There's no doubt about that. Cassius Ohno is fantastic in the ring, but he's not over with the crowd to the point where he can take these losses and it won't be damaging to him. Ty Dillinger would take loss after loss after loss at each and every single turn, and he'd still have that stock in him. Why? Because he is the perfect 10. Everybody loves this guy. He's amazing at what he does. That's what the thing is with Ty Dillinger. That's what he had. Cassius Ohno doesn't really have that, and he just keeps taking loss after loss. He's amazing in the ring, and that's kind of what's saving him there. But I mean, there really is not that much build to this matchup. Cassius Ohno won against Cesar Bononi on an episode of NXT, I believe 2 weeks ago. And then, of course, you had him in an amazing matchup with Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano just put up amazing matches all around in the tournament to the NXT Championship, and that, of course, to the number 1 contendership to the NXT Championship, I should say. And that, of course, was won by Johnny Gargano. But again, Cassius Ohno put on an amazing matchup. But what I really see this matchup as being is Cassius Ohno takes the loss. Velveteen Dream rebuilds some stock, and I expect it to be a damn good matchup. This matchup could steal the show for all we know. I mean, Velveteen Dream is fantastic in the ring. Cassius Ohno speaks for himself. Amazing competitor. Just needs a gimmick. He just needs some win under his belt. He needs something that will propel him above where he is right now, because right now he's just floating around. So I believe Velveteen Dream will win this match, because Velveteen Dream has it, bro. He's over. He has the gimmick, and he's doing some amazing work for himself. Velveteen Dream's going to have a big year in NXT. That's why they felt that they needed to get him on this takeover. That's why they feel that they need to get him another win, because he's going to have a big year, and this is just going to be a little setup to that. So I predict Velveteen Dream. I predict that this is going to be a very good matchup that could possibly steal the show. Then again, any of the matches on this show could steal the show. The next one could as well. It's the NXT Championship matchup for the tag teams. The NXT Tag Team Championship matchup. There you go. It's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly versus the Authors of Pain for the NXT Tag Team titles. Now, you already know what the Authors of Pain bring. They bring pain. They are amazing in their role as the big men. I mean, they've put on some great matches against teams that can carry them to those good matches. I mean, they haven't necessarily been in the best matches as of late. I mean, the match they had with the Street Profits, there you go, slipped my mind for a second, but the match they had with the Street Profits was alright, and that actually propelled them to this number 1 contendership position. And I'm not sure if the Authors of Pain are going to win here. I don't think so. I think this matchup will end through some nefarious means. I don't know how Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are viably going to win here, because all the Undisputed Era has been doing is running from the Authors of Pain for all these months. They've been avoiding the Authors of Pain. They'll get into a fight with Sanity. They'll get into a fight. They'll attack whoever else. But the Authors of Pain come through the street, and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish don't want anything to do with them. If you ask me, after the War Games matchup, or actually all the way in October, I would have had the Authors of Pain debut on the main roster, because Raw had no tag teams. Here they still are in NXT, and actually I think that benefits them. It's giving them time to get better and more ready for the main roster, and it's giving them time to still do some amazing work in NXT. The Authors of Pain have definitely not lagged behind in NXT ever since losing those tag team championships. I mean, like I said, whenever the Authors of Pain have another team that can carry them to that amazing matchup. You saw the matches they had with DIY, the matches they had with American Alpha back in the day, and the matchup they had with Sanity was even chaos. It was a lot of fun. Now Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, they came in, and this is finally going to be like a bit of a climax to that storyline, because if you remember when Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish came in, they attacked Sanity. They've cleared Sanity. They've taken Sanity's tag team titles. But who else did they attack? They attacked the Authors of Pain. So here we are. Everything's come full circle, and it's come to a point where the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, finally have to meet up with the Authors of Pain. This is the first time that they really have to do that. Now it's going to be interesting to see how this is displayed. I don't know how Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are going to get out of this one, because I'm sure they're keeping the titles. I mean, they just won them on NXT television. There's no reason for them to lose the titles. But as far as how they're going to get past this matchup, if it's going to be through cheating tactics, I am questioning and interested to see which way they're going to go with that one, because I'm sure Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly aren't going to do this against the Authors of Pain clean. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see this. I think this is actually the first tag team matchup that Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are going to have on a takeover show. So I'm interested to see that, because usually it's just been short NXT main events that they've been in and really haven't been teaming together as much. It's been Adam Cole in singles matches. It's been six-man tags. It's been War Games matches. But it's going to be interesting to see how Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly do in a tag team takeover spot, because I mean, takeover, that's where the best matches come out of, bro. That really is. There ain't no commercials there to stop you from doing your best. It's the best crowd you're gonna have all year. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are gonna do in that atmosphere, because we really haven't seen them as a tag team yet, and I'm interested to see that. And I'm interested to see what type of matchup they're going to take the Authors of Pain, because I certainly think they are competent competitors who can bring the Authors of Pain to a good match. So it's going to be interesting to see that. The Undisputed Era continues to be on the limelight, because it's Adam Cole, baby, from the Undisputed Era against Aleister Black, and this is going to be a good one. Extreme Rules match. I'm going to be very interested to see how this one plays out. I mean, my God, it is going to be a brawl. If NXT puts on a street fight or an Extreme Rules matchup, whatever the hell you want to call it, it ain't going to be your run-of-the-mill steel chairs and kendo sticks. It's going to be table spots. It's probably going to be a ladder spot. It's probably going to be fighting all around the arena. Meanwhile, they announced a street fight on the main roster. It would be chairs here, chairs there. You'll fight around the ringside area, and you head back in the ring. Finisher, bada boom, shakalaka. There you go. There's probably going to be fighting through the crowd. They're probably going to do a bunch of table spots. Maybe they'll bring out ladders. They're going to get interesting. They're going to get unique with NXT, because that's what NXT does. So I'm going to be very interested to see how this matchup is going to play out. A lot of what this matchup was built up by was the tournament for the #1 contendership to the NXT Championship. They handled this very well. Aleister Black took on Adam Cole in the #1 contendership tournament. Aleister Black beat Adam Cole and fairly easily. So NXT decided to follow up on that, and quite brilliantly, might I add. We come to the fatal 4-way for the #1 contendership, which Aleister Black is in, with Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, and Johnny Gargano. Now, clearly, Johnny Gargano is going to get that win. I can't viably believe that he's going to get it over Lars Sullivan or even Killian Dane, who are two big men. The man he's going to have to pin is Aleister Black, but Aleister Black is undefeated. How are you going to give up the undefeated streak of Aleister Black to Johnny Gargano in this fatal 4-way? NXT knows how to do it. NXT knows how to do it. Adam Cole, the Undisputed Era, come in, attack Aleister Black just as he is about to win the matchup. He hit the Black Mask on, I believe, Killian Dane. He was going to win the matchup. The Undisputed Era cost Aleister Black the matchup. They cost him the matchup. That allows Johnny Gargano to pin Aleister Black. Cost him his first victory. They do it perfectly. The underdog story of Johnny Gargano is set. Adam Cole versus Aleister Black is set. Bada boom shakalaka. Let's go to TakeOver. I am invested. So you have some things go down on NXT television to follow that. You have Aleister Black, Aleister Black, and Roderick Strong challenged the members of Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, for the tag team championships. But Adam Cole comes in when he was banned from ringside. Aleister Black chases him, and that cost him the matchup as well. So multiple times has Adam Cole gotten the upper hand on Aleister Black. Now clearly, what you want to do here is give Aleister Black his win back. Clearly, he lost a bit of momentum, and he lost his first matchup in the Fatal 4-Way. He got pinned for the first time in the Fatal 4-Way. He lost a bit of momentum there. So this match is going to be redemption for Aleister Black. There's no way Adam Cole is going to win this matchup. And now that this is going to be a #1 contendership matchup for the NXT Championship, I damn sure think that interests me, because Aleister Black, #1 contender for the NXT Championship, going into possibly TakeOver or New Orleans, I should say, going into TakeOver New Orleans. I think Johnny Gargano is going to be your new NXT champion after this show. Is that going to mean that we're going to get Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano? That's interesting enough to me, bro. I certainly want to see that. But then again, there's other plans that I would go with as well. But we will talk about that in a little bit. But this matchup certainly, this is going to probably steal the show. I mean, Aleister Black is just fantastic in the ring. Just look at what he did last TakeOver with the Velveteen Dream. Adam Cole really hasn't had a chance to shine yet. He hasn't really had that matchup that makes you say, damn, Adam Cole's good. Damn, Adam Cole's good. He really hasn't had that matchup yet, besides War Games, clearly. But that was a group effort. This is going to be that matchup that we're going to be saying, damn, Adam Cole's good, bro. I believe that that's going to be this matchup. There's no way he's winning it, but I expect him to have a good showing here. Any matchup with Aleister Black is going to make you look like a superstar. I have no doubt about that. This is going to be a very, very good matchup. Cannot wait to see it. And I can't wait for this entire show, especially because of the way that they have built this match up. The NXT Championship matchup has been built up perfectly. This is the storytelling that is missing on the main roster, and it makes me cry because it is so simple. It is so simple to build the underdog story, which they have done perfectly around Johnny Gargano. My lord, is this good? You had Andrade Cien Almas surprisingly win the NXT Championship at TakeOver, whatever the hell, last time. I don't even know what to call it. War Games, there you go. At TakeOver War Games, you had him win the title from Drew McIntyre in a shock victory. Well, Drew McIntyre was injured. That kind of effed up plan. So what do? You have a mini tournament. You have Aleister Black versus Adam Cole. Killian Dane versus whoever he went up against. Velveteen Dream was originally supposed to go up against Cassius Ohno, which is, I guess, I didn't even think of that. That's the reason they're going against each other at TakeOver. That was the original matchup in the tournament. That makes a lot of... Damn, NXT is smart, bro. I'm just realizing this right now. That is very smart. The original matchup was Velveteen Dream versus Cassius Ohno. But, of course, Johnny Gargano took the place of Cassius Ohno. That led to Johnny Gargano getting the win in a fantastic matchup. My God, was that a good matchup. The crowd went crazy for Johnny Gargano. The reaction that Johnny Gargano got, I have not heard in quite a while on WWE television, except when Daniel Bryan comes out. It was amazing. So you start to build that underdog story with Johnny Gargano. He's now in a fatal four-way with the undefeated Aleister Black, the monster Lars Sullivan, who took on Roderick Strong, destroyed Roderick Strong, might I add, and Killian Dane, the monster, the beast of Belfast from Sanity. Johnny Gargano, by miles, is the smallest man in the matchup. He is the underdog. Nobody sees him winning just putting this matchup on paper. He ends up winning. Thanks to the help, indirectly, of the Undisputed Era. Thanks to the fact that Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan, the two monsters, took themselves out, Johnny Gargano was able to survive. What a match. What a story. He's going to take over. But that's not enough. That is not enough. Velveteen Dream comes back from injury, says, Johnny Gargano, NXT Championship? This man is not worthy. So Johnny Gargano, in response to that, comes out and brilliantly cuts a great promo, says, I'm tired of all these doubters. I'm tired of everybody telling me that I can't do it. Velveteen Dream wants a shot at my #1 contendership. Next week, he got it. Amazing matchup. Go home show to NXT Takeover Philadelphia between Johnny Gargano and Velveteen Dream. Not only was it pound for pound in the ring a very good matchup, but at the same time, the matchup had the story behind it. You were invested in seeing Johnny Gargano win, and even though I knew that Johnny Gargano was going to win, each near fall meant something. The crowd, despite that being the final week or the third week of NXT tapings, which means they were there for 3 hours watching that, they were still as electric as they were in the first hour for Johnny Gargano, because that is how you build someone up. And Johnny Gargano has the perfect underdog story to go to take over Philadelphia and lose. What? Plot twist, I know. I'm calling that at NXT Takeover Philadelphia, Johnny Gargano will be just about ready to win the NXT Championship. As a matter of fact, I'll say he hits the Gargano escape. Almas taps out. But Tommaso Ciampa returns, and Tommaso Ciampa costs Johnny Gargano the NXT Championship. Because at the end of the day, how did this all start? Johnny Gargano, in what position was he in? What position did he have to fight back up from? Johnny Gargano was on a losing streak. He was. When Johnny Gargano first started and DIY split up because of Tommaso Ciampa, he was distraught. He was in a terrible position. He was losing matches left and right, and he's only now began to fight up, and now he's finally made it to the NXT Championship. He's almost there. It's within a goddamn fingertips reach. And here comes Tommaso Ciampa just to smack him right back down. Just to bring him all the way down to square one. To rock the foundation of that building. And to rekindle his feud with Johnny Gargano. That is what I say you do at NXT Takeover Philadelphia. That will allow you to do Andrade Cien Almas versus Aleister Black for the NXT Championship at Takeover Orlando. And that will allow you to do Ciampa versus Gargano in the match we've all been waiting to see on WrestleMania weekend. Ciampa by now should be cleared, and if he's not cleared yet, by WrestleMania time, he should certainly be cleared. And I say you do that. I say you go that direction. That would be amazing. That everybody's going crazy. Gargano's about to win. Andrade and Gargano have just put on a fierce 20-minute classic. And out comes Ciampa to take it all away. Not only would that get massive heel heat on Ciampa and just bring him back in the best way possible to the NXT universe, but it would also, on top of that, make Johnny Gargano an even bigger babyface and allow you to go other directions with that NXT Championship. That's what I say you do. Or what you can do is you have Gargano win the NXT Championship, and after the matchup, Ciampa attacks and takes down Gargano. You can do that. You can do that, but realistically, I would love to see Gargano come within an inch of that NXT Championship, just for all to be taken away. That would be the best story you can go for, because Gargano, he was in the rubble because of Ciampa, and it would only be complete for him to be kicked down from the top back into the rubble by Ciampa again, and then Gargano could, of course, get his victory back. He can finally topple his greatest adversary at TakeOver Orlando. Now the question is, do you have Gargano win and Ciampa come back afterwards and you do the Orlando match for the NXT Championship, which I would love to see as well. They have nowhere to go but good here. That's the only way NXT can go. If they do it the way I just suggested, it's amazing. If they do it for the championship, Gargano and Ciampa at Orlando, it's still fantastic. So I want to see, I'm just envisioning what this can be, and I'm kind of marking out right now. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, which way they're going to go, but I'm certainly excited to see this match, and it's probably the main reason that I'm excited to see NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Usually, when we go into a TakeOver, there's a lot of great matches, but the NXT Championship match is never the match that you really see stealing the show. Drew McIntyre versus Andrade Cien Almas, I didn't see stealing the show. Bobby Roode when he was NXT Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura when he was NXT Champion, even Samoa Joe when he was NXT Champion, even Finn Balor when he was NXT Champion. They weren't necessarily putting on the best matches at TakeOver shows. Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano, I think this matchup is going to steal the show. I really do. The build is there. This is the perfect build to an NXT Championship match. It really is. You had Andrade Cien Almas being an adversary of Johnny Gargano throughout this entire year. The matchup they had at Brooklyn, each and every single time these two guys have faced off, Andrade has come out on top. And for that reason, I think that you're going to have Johnny Gargano win the championship. But then again, things line up for Ciampa to come back and cost Gargano the NXT Championship. So unpredictability is definitely there. It is. On top of that, you have the storyline between these two guys, the underdog story of Johnny Gargano, the out-of-nowhere NXT Championship reign of Andrade Cien Almas. Everything's just unpredictable. It's awesome, and I just want to see it. I just can't wait to see it. I cannot wait till tonight, Saturday, NXT TakeOver, to see what is going to happen. Because Andrade just won the championship. NXT isn't known for having short championship reigns. So are they going to take the title off of Andrade? Or are they going to do what everybody's expected, Aleister Black versus Andrade at NXT Takeover New Orleans WrestleMania weekend? Because you would think that Aleister Black is going to win the NXT Championship, and what if Johnny Gargano does win? And then Ciampa comes back. So that leaves a rematch in the air for Gargano and Andrade. That leaves Ciampa versus Gargano, and that also leaves Aleister Black as the new #1 contender for the championship. So that's 3 challengers that Gargano's going to have right there. Any one of those being able to go into New Orleans. It would kind of be confusing. Instead of having Ciampa and Gargano go at it without a championship at New Orleans and just have storyline there driving that feud, and then give Aleister Black his #1 contendership against still champion Andrade. So there's a lot of factors that go into this matchup. Like I said, any way that you go about it is going to be fantastic in my eyes, because the way this has been built to has been great. NXT is not trapped in a corner. They are in the middle of the road, and they can go right, they can go left, they can go forward, and they can go back. So I am happy for that. This is going to be a fantastic main event. I see this being the best match on the show. As a matter of fact, I see this being the best takeover main event that we have seen in years. No doubt about that. For now, ladies and gentlemen, those are your preview and predictions for NXT Takeover Philadelphia. Make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. The Royal Rumble preview and predictions were uploaded on Thursday. The Raw and Smackdown reviews, review for Raw 25, review for Smackdown is up on the channel. Behind the Mic is going to be pushed back to Sunday. We're going to do a big Sunday Royal Rumble edition of Behind the Mic episode number 54. So you can expect all that, as well as NXT TakeOver Philadelphia review later tonight and the Royal Rumble review tomorrow. So make sure to expect all of that good stuff right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, because this has been Joel Perez, and for now, I am out of here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, go check everything else out, and of course, to go check out the Twitter of the same name, where we will be live tweeting with NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. For now, this has been Joel Perez, and for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I'll see you next time right here on Ringside Wrestling.